What's going on, Sheepdog Stress here, 221B Tactical. Today I'm here to tell you about our Extremity glove light system. Gonna get right into it. I developed this glove after multiple incidents while on the job as a police officer where I lost my flashlight that I was holding in my hand. Yes, this is a replacement for a handheld flashlight. We're gonna get into some weapon mounted light stuff later. However, this was a replacement for a flashlight that I was holding in my hand while on patrol, going up on car stops, encountering people on the street, things like that. Lost it in scuffles, pursuits, things like that. Got tired of it, developed this. So you have a high-powered light mounted on the back of your glove, Picatinny rail clip, and there is a wired pressure pad that goes to the inside of the index finger. So when you touch your thumb to the index finger, you see the light goes on just like that. Super simple, mounts on either glove, right or left. Doesn't matter. Some people who are righty put it on their left hand. Doesn't matter. However you want to do it, however you want to slice it. That's not the important part. The important thing is now when you have this on your hand, you no longer have a light in your hand that you're tucking under your arm, putting in your teeth, putting in between your head and your shoulder. None of that. Now it's all here, and it's activated simply by touching your thumb to the inside of your index finger. So where could it be used? What's a good instance? Well, let's say you're on a motor vehicle stop and you're walking up to a car. You want to have your hands free. You wouldn't, if you had a weapon mounted light, you wouldn't be just walking up to a car at night on a car stop with your weapon out and the weapon light pointed at the passengers inside the vehicle. You wouldn't do that. So you would just walk up with your hands. Typically you'd walk up with a flashlight like this. Now you can just walk up and just scan the car with your hands free. Should something arise, you can go to your weapon, push car door shut, close the trunk, whatever you might need. If you are handcuffing someone, typically you don't have your gun out pointing the gun with the weapon mounted light at the person as you're handcuffing them. You typically have the light that you have in your hand, you tuck it under your arm, and then you go ahead and get your handcuffs and you start to begin your cuffing, but the light is pointed somewhere like into the sky and it's not pointing down at the hands or the waistband where you would want. So now when you're handcuffing, whatever you're doing, you can just put a little pressure here, you can still manipulate all your fingers here, and you could now have an eye on the person's waist, on their hands as you're cuffing them. So a nice advantage in that situation as well. If you're outdoor, you're in the woods, you're camping, you're hiking, whatever, you have the ability to now, instead of like a headlamp where you have to actually like move your head down to see something or move your head, you don't always want to have to turn your head and manipulate your head to see something that might be in a tree over there or something like that. It's nice where you have the flexibility of your wrist without having something in your hands to point it wherever you want and keep your head stationary. You might be looking over here and then you see something over here, you just kind of look over, you don't turn your head. Very convenient, very easy. We have a lot of people who are in the technical fields, people in attics and crawl spaces, working in tight places, working in cars, working underneath cars where they don't have the ability to have that light in their hand or in their teeth or anything like that. Now, when you're working with your hands, you're underneath the car, now you can just turn. Now, you don't need to have the activate it with the pressure pad. You could hit the button right here and turn it on and it stays on. So if you're doing something that's not a tactical situation and you don't need to actuate the light on and off, you could just turn it on, keep it on, crawl space, attic, you name it, whatever you're doing, garage, panel, at night, power goes out. You name it, you got it. If you're walking at night, maybe you walk your dog at night, maybe you're out just walking for exercise at night or jogging at night, it's a great thing you could have, and you could just have it while you're running, and it's gonna have a little bit of a strobe effect, or you can create the strobe effect with just your hand in an emergency. A lot of people keep this in their glove box in their car, because if they're on the side of the road at night, maybe they have to change a tire or something like that, you don't want to have, while you're changing a tire, a light under your arm or a light like this. This is something where you're changing a tire, you can just activate the light, and now whatever you're doing with your hands, you're illuminating that. If you see a car coming, you want to just shake your hand and let the car know that you're there, give them a little bit of a beacon so you don't get run over. So a ton of uses and a ton of possibilities when you no longer have to hold even a small mini flashlight in your hand and activate it with your thumb like you typically have to do. Now it just completely eliminates that. So it's a great, useful tool in many situations. Now this glove that it comes on and that you're seeing here is a level 5 cut resistant glove, has abrasion protection, impact protection on the back, touchscreen capability on the index finger, but we also have it with a glove that's just a regular glove, no cut resistant, no ninja properties. It's a nice thin regular glove, and you can slip it on nice and easy. These slip on nice and easy with a pull tab. So these are for people in more advanced situations where they need that cut protection, they need that impact protection, and they need that abrasion protection. So if you're in that situation, you would go with these gloves here. If you're not, and you're just a regular homeowner, maybe just looking for something to have on your nightstand in your vehicle before you go out into the backyard, something like that, check on something, you can get the regular pair of gloves, the regular Extremity patrol gloves, and you're gonna have great glove, highly durable, without any of the ninja features, and you still have the light capability, works just the same. So, quick overview of the Extremity patrol light. You could use it for whatever. This light system can be used for countless things. Once you get it and once you start using it, you're gonna realize just how annoying and cumbersome a regular handheld flashlight was in your life, because you're just gonna be able to just slip this glove on, and you could just do the full Michael Jackson and just slip one glove on if you want, and you're gonna see all the possibilities of when you have your light on your hand. You could use it for grilling when you're out at night and you know that light on your grill doesn't quite hit the food. You could go ahead and use this while you're grilling, and it also gives you some nice heat protection too. So like I said, the possibilities are absolutely endless that you could do, and you're gonna get this and you're gonna find out a thousand more possibilities and 1,000 more things you can do with this glove. Now, let's talk about the weapon aspect of it. A lot of people say, well, why would I get that? I got a weapon mounted light. Well, once again, if you listen, it replaces a handheld flashlight. This does not replace a weapon mounted light. You don't always have your weapon out using your weapon as your flashlight. If you do, you're an idiot, and you shouldn't be carrying a gun, and you probably shouldn't have a badge. But if you have this, and you, like where I worked, weapon mounted lights were not allowed. They were not permitted for patrol. Canine officers could have it, patrol officers couldn't. And if you believe it, the last poll we took, nearly 80% of police agencies did not allow their patrol officers to have weapon mounted lights. There's a lot of liability and a lot of other things. Once again, potential of people using the light in the wrong manner. So you have the ability now, if you are one of those people that are not allowed to have a weapon mounted light, you can now have this where you draw your weapon and just a little bit of pressure along the grip, and you can activate the light, and that now gives you light right down the barrel at whatever you are pointing your gun at, just like as if you had a weapon mounted light. Now, the good thing is you can have your finger on the trigger ready to pull, and that pressure here, and you don't have to have your finger activating the weapon mounted light on the front, because sometimes you might only have one hand to have that weapon out. So everyone knows the weapon mounted light is at the front of the weapon. You got to use that index finger to actuate it. But if you have someone at gunpoint, right, and you need to now be able to see them, and you want to have your finger on the trigger ready to shoot because they're a potential threat, and now you need this hand to get onto your radio, you're not going to be able to actuate that light, and you don't want to shoot into the darkness, right? So let's say you have someone in the car, they're getting a little squirrely, and you see them maybe reaching for something, and you think you see a weapon. So you want to now get that gun on them, and you want to be on the trigger, ready in case they make that move. You want to be on that trigger to obviously eliminate that threat, right? But now you want to make sure that you get to your radio, call for backup, get another car there, whatever it might be. Another situation where having a weapon mounted light on your weapon is great. Love it. All my weapons have weapon mounted lights. However, for those of you who don't, and even in some cases when you do, this might be a little bit of an additional tool in the event that you do that. Now, we've all seen the video of the people who don't have the weapon mounted light and they have the handheld light, and when they have the handheld light and they go to draw their weapon, right? You go to draw your weapon, and what do? You naturally are going to cup the weapon like this. So what happens? The light that was pointed there, they cup the weapon, and now they have their weapon up, and now the light is facing them. And we saw a video recently of the female officer
parked on Henry Road.
All right, wait right there, don't move, okay?
The deputy approaching the car from the passenger's side. The man appears to be cooperating. The deputy uses her flashlight to briefly check inside the car and then walks around to the driver's side.
Roll it down. Roll down the window. Roll down the window.
Here's where the situation takes a turn. The driver fidgets a bit, but rolls down his window and opens fire.
Shots fired, shots fired.
The deputy, who was not hit, returns fire, striking and killing the suspect.
She had to put shots on a driver in a vehicle, and the entire time She was blinding herself with her own light, because she went like from holding the light like this to now drawing her gun and flipped that light toward her. Now she's shooting into darkness. She was shooting into a dark car that was not illuminated at all because her light was pointing at her. So you know there's going to be some attorney in a courtroom saying, well, you were shooting into a dark car. You had no light on that car. Why did you have no light on that car? Well, because your handheld flashlight was facing you. So these are all things that you could think about and talk about till whenever. But if you're looking for an additional tool, an additional arrow in your quiver, and you have the ability to wear something like this while you're on the job, why wouldn't you? It just is great for whenever your weapon is holstered and you're doing anything, searching a car, searching a person, pat down, whatever, no longer having that light on your arm. But if you're on the DIY homeowner, happy homeowner, weekend warrior person, or you're a technician, a mechanic, whatever it might be, another great opportunity and a great option for you as well. Hope that explains a little bit about the Extremity glove light system. If you have questions, drop a comment below. Maybe we've seen the usage, or if you have it and you use it, you love it, and you use it for something funky, as long as it's clean, it's a family-oriented channel, drop it in the comments to let us know what you are using it for. Thanks for watching. See you next time.